Hey everybody, how you doing today? Audiohead here. We have something kind of different in a couple ways. First, it's a loudspeaker setup from Audioengine. Secondly, the price on this one's not too ridiculous. So this is one of those entry-level products that all those guys in the comment section who are kind of looking for a little less expensive than the real high-end, this may be something that you want to look at. These retail for $249, and for that $249, you get a pair of speakers, a built-in DAC, and an amplifier all in one. So all of that is contained in the left speaker here, and a single wire goes over to the right channel. Ideally they're designed for computer use. So the great thing about these are that they fit on a desktop. They have a separate pair of stands that you can buy to angle them up towards your ears a little bit more. That sometimes helps with treble. But they definitely fit on a desk, which is great from a design perspective. Even some of the bookshelf stuff, anything that kind of sounds good, generally doesn't fit on a desk. It's somewhat unfortunate. These are, actually perfect for just kind of cradling either side of your laptop screen or just adding a little bit more on the side of your monitor. So from a desktop perspective, this is the cat's meow. Very, very nice design on the size. In addition to that, the sound is unmistakably great for $250. By that I mean it is clear, it is articulate, it is quick, and it sounds exceptional for $250. There are a lot of other products on the market. Jambox by Jawbone, those kind of Bluetooth connectivity little speakers, they do not really even come up to snuff with this. So there's a size difference. These are bigger, but they're not large, right? The woofers are only 3.75 inches big, so it's not even like much bigger than the palm of your hand, and it does include a separate tweeter, so they are two-way, which helps a lot. There is a slight opening down here in the bottom to help with the bass. So there is a design element to these that is much more robust, I think, than just your average Bluetooth connectivity kind of thing. However, they're not portable for the most part. You can definitely move them around, no problem, but they're not going to fit in the backpack very easily. That being said, what you get for the money, way, way bigger. I really enjoyed these. I think that the treble is very articulate. The treble is kind of like the leading edge for this thing, and it does a really good job of bringing out the detail. There is a great mid-range too. Vocal presentation is really good for the price. I mean, you have to take a massive step up to get better, exceptionally better sound out of something else speaker-wise. And then you won't even get the combination of everything ready to go. You plug it into your laptop and you're all set. In addition to that, the bass, it is bassy. I mean, you can have significant bass come out of these. For near-field listening, it's pretty darn good. Now, it's not like a giant subwoofer. It's just not like in-your-chest rattling bass, but that's a little bit more, I think, than you would expect from just speakers this size. For most music, it's going to be pretty well covered, except for just those lowest of the lows. So for range for this size, they are pretty good. I mean, it gives you a nice breadth for the size. Like I said, clarity is one of the main reasons why you might want to upgrade to these. It is just leaps and bounds beyond a lot of the Bluetooth technology speakers that are out there, and a lot of other just speakers in general. I mean, I think they do an excellent job. I mean, these guys are really what I would consider to be the entry-level audiophile speaker. I mean, for $250, complete package ready to go. That's it. I mean, this is where it begins for a lot of guys. $250, DAC included, amplifier and speaker all ready to go. And you're going to see a vast improvement over the speakers in your computer. I mean, there's no comparison to what was going on with my MacBook Air. Those are thin and tinny compared to these, which sound like a regular full speaker. The DAC on this does top out at CD quality, so if you want to go high res, you'll have to get a separate DAC. The Audioengine does sell a D3 that does high res that you would do your line out to this. I also compared. I went a little overboard and connected this to a really, really high-end DAC, the Aloric Vega that I had on hand. That's over $3,000, just to see, what is it compared to internally. And I did find a little bit more resolution through that DAC. So I do think that speaks to actually the quality of the speaker and the design, as far as all the great clarity I was talking about earlier. It actually, the speaker isn't limited. It's even more resolving than the DAC allows it to be if that's on the back end. However, it's totally unrealistic for a $3,500 DAC to be compared to the DAC in here. I think for all intents and purposes, these speakers do a great job with the DAC that's inside. And I think CD quality sound is something that a lot of the guys who are looking at this thing is most likely going to top out at anyways. But like I said, if you want to upgrade that, you can go ahead and grab a DAC, the D3 from them, and run the line out. That'll do high res for you. That's kind of nice. Or you can just use your DAC of choice, because there is USB input, your mini jack input, your regular RCA input, and also RCA outputs in case you want to connect it to a separate subwoofer. So if you want some more rattling bass, you're set to go with these things. So they're actually quite versatile little speakers. I mean, they're pretty great. So now we're going to do a little comparison, an audio comparison to the A2 Plus, to another Bluetooth technology that I have on hand, the Jambox by Jawbone, just to kind of give you a little sample of what these could sound like. I'll also include the original track at the end so you can kind of compare. Due to the technical restrictions of the recording equipment I have, obviously it's not going to be crystal clear, so perhaps not the best to judge the clarity on this recording. However, it does give you a sense of the fullness and how the speakers themselves sound less tinny. But like I said, I'm using a very rudimentary recording system here, so the quality itself isn't going to be as resolute, as acute as what you'll hear with your ear, but it does kind of show a basic reflection of the overall tone signature, where the Jambox, by my feeling, doesn't feel quite as full, a little more like AM radio, let's just say, than the overall kind of fullness, and obviously there's more bass and just a little better realism to the whole presentation from the A2 Plus. But like I said, it's not as clear as I'd hoped, but it definitely gives you an overall sense of kind of what we're talking about here. Okay, first up is a sample. This is from the Jambox. And now the same track from the Audioengine A2 Plus.